Welcome, everybody, to the Lori and Tall Paul Show. I'm Lori Heinzelman, career and leadership coach, and I am joined by my co host, Paul Ohlson.
Hello, everyone.
So, today we are going to talk about Paul. I got some requests. People want to know who is Tall Paul. So, this episode is all about Paul and how you ended up here, I guess, how you ended up where you are right now in your career.
Okay, well, try not to blabber on.
Okay. I see you making that face. Like, don't worry. It's going to be painless, I hope. So I think, well, I know what sticks out to people is just the moniker Tall Paul.
hmm
How did you get that name?
Okay, well, to start, I'm 6'5", um, and I've had a longtime friend named Kelly, and she's 5 feet tall, and so since high school, she's called me Tall Paul, and she was the only one calling me Tall Paul, and I never really did anything with that until years ago when I started an insurance agency. And I thought to myself, insurance is awfully competitive. I'm going to have to come up with some way to separate myself from every other Joe Schmo insurance agent out there. So I'm going to try Tall Paul. Seems like a catchy thing. I think people might like it. And so I would go to networking events and I'd introduce myself. I'd say, "Hey, I'm Tall Paul." And people would laugh and they'd go, "Oh, I love it." And that happened, over and over again, enough times that people just really liked it, and everybody started calling me Tall Paul, and so now that's how it started.
I love that. I'm still waiting for my descriptive name to find
and
its
when I
way.
when I had the insurance agency, I went on Fiverr. If nobody knows what Fiverr is, it's a website you can go to and get cheap services. Like you pay for cheap services, and I mean like legitimate business services.
I
When
was
I
going
say
to say
cheap
that
services,
sounds
I
a
don't
little
mean
weird. Like that sounds a little weird.
we're not talking about illegal sexual services here.
Okay.
And so I actually paid somebody. I think she was like from Brazil. She was a singer, and I paid her to sing a slogan song for me. What do they call it? A jingle? I paid her to sing a jingle
Oh,
for me. And I'm no singer at all. Okay. So I have nobody needs to like type into the comments after this, like, Paul better not quit his day job for singing. Okay. I'm clearly aware that I'm not a singer, but I love the jingle, and it goes like this. And it went like this at any rate. Remember, I had an insurance agency. The jingle went like this: car, home, or business, we cover it all. Call Tall Paul. That was my jingle.
I love it. Of course, you said insurance, and I automatically thought Nationwide is
Right.
on
Uh-huh.
yours.
Yeah. Yeah.
Call. Okay, so now I have to get that in my head. Call Tall Paul. We do it all.
Call
That's
Tall Paul. That's all you need. Call Tall Paul.
Call Tall Paul. That's a good jingle. Can I just use it to call? No, like who are you? Okay, that's cool. Okay, so that's how Tall Paul came about. I love that. Now I'm going to ask a question about your current role at work. Tell me, what is it? What is your title? And what does your day-to-day look like?
So I currently work at a community college, one of the largest community colleges in Illinois. I don't think I can actually say it, but
Yep.
and my role there is corporate training coordinator. So I work with local businesses to find out what their training and upskilling needs are, and then I find an instructor who can deliver that kind of content for them. And sometimes I have to co-create content, which is, we've talked about some of that. I think last episode or two episodes, something like that before. Um, and so that's kind of where the leadership comes in. I do have way back in the day when I was at a media company. the VP at the media company, he put us all through strengths and weaknesses assessment, through personal discovery, through emotional intelligence. And that was fascinating to me. And I really took that and ran with it. And I learned as much as I could about that stuff. And so, anyway, so that helps me, that kind of stuff helped me to co create a series of leadership trainings that we delivered last year and this year, first half of this year. They were very popular. And we delivered those to local businesses and people loved them. And so, yeah, so that's my role. I mean, it could be anything from leadership to forklift operator certification or Microsoft Word or coming up this year, I'm introducing a series of like a big series of executive education trainings. So this is aimed at C-suite ownership, that kind of level. And that'll be things like strategy, cash flow, strategic talent design, that kind of stuff. And so that's really like, that comes from my business ownership background. And I call myself a business geek, because definitely have the entrepreneurial streak running through me. And, started several businesses, had one really successful business. And yeah, so that's that's what I do now. And that's how some of my history feeds into being able to do that job well.
Okay. So tell me, what are some of the topics that companies normally seek or ask about in the leadership space?
Conflict resolution, of course,
Mm-hmm.
communication.
Mm-hmm.
And I always tell people like leadership, if I had to replace the word leadership with one other word, it would be communication.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah,
All of
because
it boils down to communication.
all of it does, right? And some people will say it's well, they would boil it down to influence, right? But I say you can't influence anybody unless you communicate them to them in a way that influences them. So
I
the
agree.
base is still communication.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, conflict resolution for sure. Difficult conversations, holding people accountable. Like these are the main topics that people ask for.
Same on my end. I hear that over
Yeah.
and over again from leaders who are going through coaching or just people talking about their organizations and
Mm-hmm.
the tough things that they encounter. It's all the same stuff. And it goes back to communication. It's tone, it's conversation, it's the relationships you have while speaking to them, right? So, uh,
Yeah. It's
okay.
understanding how they hear things.
Yeah,
That is another
exactly.
big thing. And that's part of the emotional intelligence aspect of it is how are they hearing what you're saying or what somebody else is saying? What's that lens they're listening through?
So, as we're speaking and talking about some of the different topics that we talk about on our podcast, there's already a good background for you based on some of these classes that you're doing or you're helping set up or put on for those companies, right?
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah. For me, like so you're like the expert in personal growth, personal transition, right? And I'm more about business growth and business transition. That's really where my expertise comes in, is helping people, executive C-suite, mom and pop entrepreneurs, helping them start, grow, and exit a business. And how do they, if they have no idea where to start, of course I can help them there.
Paul, tall Paul.
Call Tall Paul. If they're in the middle of their business and they're like, I don't know what to do now. Like I'm stagnant. I don't know. I want to hire people, but I don't know how to get there. I don't know what I need to have in place, or I don't know how to get my money right so that I can hire people or grow the business or buy more equipment or whatever it is. I can help there. Or if they're like, I want to retire, I'm sick of this, I'm done. or I want to pass this on to my kids, I can help there. Right. So I'm more about the business
Strategy. You're more
side
about
of
the
things,
business and the
strategy.
strategy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Hmm.
that's good. That's good for people to know because both of us together, I feel like that's very unique. And then also it shows like when you grow personally, it also can help you grow your business, honestly, because there's certain things about yourself sometimes that you need to change in order to move forward when it's a business or corporation or organization that you're supporting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So now what do we talk about?
Well, you said something, so I wanted to ask you something specifically about you. Like so you're telling us about what you do on day to day, and
Uh-huh.
telling us a little bit about your background, where it's more the business side of things, which is really strategic. Um, Now, I want to ask some questions more about you. So, I want to ask something that what's something about your leadership journey, like you as a leader, that doesn't show up on your resume or it doesn't show up in what you've just said right now?
That doesn't show up on my resume. Um, I mean, I guess I mean caring doesn't show up on a resume, right? It's kind of hard to understand how well somebody is able to connect with other people. I think this is a great example, right? I mean, me and you, we didn't even know each other,
Right.
right? And this came together because of your newsletter and a post on LinkedIn, and and then that became now it's a relationship, right? Like
Yeah.
we're doing the show, we're doing it.
And it's crazy because we're finding out that there's things in common, like the background,
Yeah,
right? Where we talked about knowing Redford and Livonia, and just like had mentioned certain the mile roads in Michigan and 8 miles. It's crazy that we had things in common. And what I like about that, and you talking about it as something from your leadership journey, is it shows the ability to build relationships. So
right.
caring, but that ability to build relationships with people, showing
Yeah.
a genuine interest in other people, which is super cool.
Yeah, and understanding that at the heart of everything, business is about people. Managing is about people. Strategy is about people. Like everything comes back to people. And if you don't understand that side of things, and that I guess that's what I'm saying is maybe it doesn't show up in my resume, right? Is how much I understand that it all comes down to people, and my relationship with people is going to make or break my success in my career and whatever it is. My relationship with people is going can, depending on my role, can make or break their success or their career. And you have to, with great responsibility. What's the Spider-Man line? With great
You're
power
asking
comes
the
great
wrong girl.
responsibility. Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. That's the line. And there's a lot of managers who don't understand that. There's a lot of business owners who don't understand that. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people suffer then at their hands. I had my first LinkedIn post go viral, and it was about all the layoffs that have just occurred. And one of and my commentary on it was, think about how many bad business decisions have to go into letting go of tens of thousands of people, right? And that obviously struck a chord because the post went viral. And um and it's sad, like I, I think I mentioned it before. We talk all the time, like we have a sophisticated language that we talk to each other with, and yet we have no idea how to communicate. And um and it's sad that there are so many owners and managers out there that when you ask people, do you like your work, are you engaged in work, it's like 60-70% of people say no, they're not engaged.
Most people say no. I
Yeah.
One person told me recently that they liked their job, and I was flabbergasted. I was floored because that is the first time I've heard it in a long time, and it ties back to to what you just said about the people, the
Hmm.
relationship with the people, how you treat people. And the
Yeah.
fact that your LinkedIn post went viral because you talked about the bad business decisions and how it impacts the people demonstrates that.
Yeah. People
Yeah.
are hurting. And that's how many managers and business owners don't understand
Work
that
here.
it's about people.
Yes.
And we've just set up this terrible system in business, especially now, man. I've really seen it ramp up where it's just everything is about results, 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 results. Now. Uh, I'll do some posts on LinkedIn where I say I can't remember exactly what I do, but I put an image up of a chalkboard play, right, and I say how business can be more like sports. And one of those things is celebrating small wins, right? So when these players when you're watching football and a player gets a first down, he gets up and does a celebration. Yeah, it's like one first down out
Yes.
of a bunch of them in a game.
Yes. Yes.
It's really nothing, right? It doesn't mean you're going to win.
Exactly.
It means almost nothing, and yet they treat it like it's great. And then the big wins, of course. Now they got all the team celebrations. The whole team runs to one side of the one
It
side of
does a
the
whole dance
field.
and
Yeah, and they got a whole coordinated thing going on. And so that's what I'm trying to do in the office. You know what I mean? Like when I have a big win, I'm like, all right, let's run down and pretend like we're rowing a boat. No, I'm kidding.
yeah.
I don't do
No,
that.
but that's exactly what it is though. Celebrate the wins.
Right.
Appreciate what you have achieved.
Yeah. And even small stuff, right? And in business, we can do that. We can do that, but
Yes, you
nobody
can.
does it.
You so it's funny because this goes back. I will only say this one thing about me, and then we're getting back to you. This goes back to my job as a Scrum Master and an Agile coach. A question that we would often ask the team is, what does joy at work look like?
Hmm.
What does joy at work look like? Truly being excited to be there and enjoying your work and all the things that they would put on the board. Almost all of them were related to people, how you're treated at work, saying thank you, appreciating others, being kind, having fun,
Yeah.
not being so stiff.
And to tie it back to resume is like you can't see that on a resume. You don't know that that's what somebody does. You don't know that when they show up at work, you don't know whether or not they make other people feel good, whether or not they make other people want to work. You can't see that on a resume. And but that's a big focus of mine. I want people, if people, oh, so I heard this thing one time. It's like if people are in a good mood, they're 13% smarter,
Okay.
right? Okay, so but I've heard different to be, if anybody looks it up, I have heard different things. Like I've heard, like some things I've read it's 3% smarter, some things it's 13% smarter. But whatever it is, supposedly we're smarter when we're in a good mood, in a positive frame of mind. How easy is it to go to work, to show up in the morning and put people in a positive frame of mind just by being kind, by being interested, by caring, and by trying to motivate them, right?
It takes effort. And you're right, it's not hard. It's just making the effort to do
Yeah.
it. But what is super cool, ugh, well, talking about all that again with the leadership, you can't see that. You can test or predict that from the IO psychologist space, but I
Mm-hmm.
digress. That's coming back on my side of things. So we're coming back
That's
to
fine. No, I want to
Paul.
hear this. I want to
Yeah,
hear that.
no, we're coming back to Paul. We'll talk about that another time because you can't predict that. But so businesses are starting to show some desire to want to learn how to be able to predict that behavior or understand a person from the things that they can't see on a resume.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe knowing the right questions to ask in an interview and
Okay.
understanding more about the person.
Yeah.
So we're moving in that direction. Just
Good.
whether
Because we
companies
have to.
take
Because
on that or not.
this is ridiculous. You get so many people who are not satisfied. They're not happy with the place they spend most of their time. It's just stupid.
So I want to ask you before I ask one more question. because you had the t-shirt, you've got this, I don't remember my line thing or whatever is on your shirt.
Yeah.
What is that supposed to be? What is
Okay.
that
So
for?
this is totally fortuitous, right? That this showed up in the mail today. The day that you're like, okay, we're going to talk about you and whatever. And so I'm entrepreneurial minded. I mentioned my wife and I had a successful business, party rental business, and we owned that for 10 years and sold it. I'm very proud to say we sold it. Like, we sold a functioning business, and the reason I'm proud to say that is because, sadly, most businesses liquidate. Like 80% of businesses liquidate. They don't sell a functioning business to someone. They just sell off all of their equipment at discounted rate, right? So we actually sold a functioning business to somebody, which I'm so proud of.
Congratulations. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that. And okay, so uh, way back in the day, me and a buddy of mine, Adam Mock, who actually wrote a book. I should send you a copy of this book. I told you about this
Oh,
last time, I think. Here we go.
yes,
Rescue Your
rescue.
Dreams. I can't. I don't know why the background does that, but anyway, so way back in 2000, uh, him and I. So I used to be an actor. I think I've told you that. I don't know if I told the audience that. But so way back in the day, me and him created a line of greeting cards for theater and film, for the theater and film community. And so that was the niche audience that we created these for. And we sold them into a few stores in Chicago. And then shortly after that, we stopped because we realized that it's a pain in the neck to have to drive around Chicago to only a few stores to try to count and restock cards. And then I had card shop owners. This is back when they still had shops that were essentially just cards and books.
Mhm.
You remember that?
Yeah. The good old
Yeah.
days.
Yeah. And collecting money, and then half of them didn't want to uh pay me the money for the cards that sold. And so anyway, so we stopped doing it. Well, I've really had an itch to get that going again, because now is like the perfect time. Now, when you can do an online business, you can pick a niche audience, but you can reach a ton of people in that niche audience. And so I'm trying to convince Adam right now, come on, man, let's kick it back up. Right. And so what I did is I created a mock store, and I put up some of the products that we had already created into the mock store. And so I ordered this sweatshirt, and this was one of our flagship uh, film theater
Oh,
cards. And it's two, I don't know if you can see it. The camera keeps messing around.
there you go. I can
Yeah.
see it in there. I forgot my line.
And, one of the stick figures doesn't have a body, forgot my line. So that was like our flagship product. I just got this in the mail tonight. And so I'm wearing that for the show. How
That
perfect is
is
that?
that is perfect. That's cool. I didn't even notice, like I forgot my line that the
Mm-hmm.
stick figure didn't have the line for
Yeah.
the body. That is so creative.
Yeah. So, yeah. So anyway, so we're kicking that back up. I think I answered your question. I'm
You did. Yeah,
okay.
and you told people a little bit more about who the heck is Tall Paul. You
Yeah.
also were a former actor walking around Chicago selling these cards. That's that's so cool. Okay, so I guess I'll ask one more question. If
Okay.
you want people to take anything away from who you are as a person, whether that's leadership, career, what would it be?
Man, that's a really good question, Lori. I
I
wasn't
know.
expecting questions like this. Um,
Deep thoughts by
take something away. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
Well, okay, so
I don't know.
if I was to tell people who is Tall Paul,
Yeah.
what would you want me to say?
I mean, if I'm reviewing what we just talked about, and then I guess I would say uh, that Paul cares about people. I guess that's pretty stupid.
No, it's not stupid at all. I feel it resonates with a lot of people. Uh, I think that's a good thing for, particularly for a male audience. I think that's very important for a male audience to take away too. Like it's okay to care about people.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you look at my history, we've talked about my sister and then my niece and nephew. Uh, if you take that and what I've said tonight and kind of really some of the things that I post on LinkedIn about how to manage people, it all comes from that place of caring about people, wanting to add value to people's lives. And so I guess that's what I would hope that people would take away from interactions with me, that yeah, that I'm somebody who is caring and trying to add value to their lives and to the world and yada yada.
That sounds good to me. So we're going to end there. Like, subscribe, comment. Hopefully, that's an option now. And stay tuned.
All right, we'll see you.